Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie, and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you did. I find myself on the banks of the Boardman River in lovely Traverse City, Michigan, at the Rivershire Retreat. I'd like to say thank you to the hosts who have invited me here for this very nourishing stay. And I think it's absolutely welcomed at the time of the Libra new moon that we experienced last night. But before we jump into that, I'd like to welcome any of our new subscribers and also thank those of you who are returning for this week's energy update. And we've got some powerful energy moving in. Let's review briefly, if we could, please. Yesterday we had that full moon in Libra. That was the Sun and Chiron were having a conversation sitting next to each other, talking about wounding, talking about healing, talking about pure essence, and how important it is to understand our pure essence, our true essence, so that we can shed any wounding for any purpose whatsoever. And the moon stood across the sky in the sign of Libra, shining light on all these topics of wounding. With it being in the sign of Libra, it speaks about relativity, relationships. And I actually thought about this morning. I have a Libra sun, and there are times when I can be indecisive because we end up weighing this option, that option. Well, guess what? It's time to choose, because the moon was full. It was a full moon. We're being asked to let go of wounding, to heal it. Not just let go of it, but to heal it so it can be let go of. And it's time to make a decision. And we've got some choice points popping up. So decision making certainly is in the cards for us this week. It is time for us to decide whether we want to align with three-dimensional principles, especially when it comes to wounding in relationships, or if we want to pick five-dimensional actions and outcomes, elevating ourselves to a higher level of consciousness. And truly, we have energy coming in relatively quickly that's going to do some testing of that. So typically, as you know, I don't speak about moon energy, but I do want to this week, because that full moon has now left the sign of Libra and is in the sign of Scorpio. And on Tuesday of this week, that moon in the sign of Scorpio that's carrying that full moon messaging about wounding, about our true essence, about relationships and not getting lost in relationships, relational aspects, the give and take, that sort of thing. That moon carrying that message now in the sign of Scorpio is quincunx Chiron. So now something under the surface is being exposed. And here comes our first checkpoint. The moon is also opposite to Uranus. So this gives us that relational insight, sudden shifts in partnerships relating to your need to want to be free of something. It could bring you some sovereignty relatively quickly, or freedom and sovereignty in relationships. And that same moon is going to trine the Pisces stellium of Venus, Saturn, and the North Node. And this is all about, and we've learned this, compassion first for ourselves, understanding who you are, your self-worth, Venus, Saturn, the reality check of making sure that you're grounded and that your self-worth is of your pure essence self. And then the North Node, which is helping us with fated directional purpose in life. We now know that compassion for ourselves heals ourselves and then allows us to have compassion for others. So that's an important place for the moon to be. It creates a wedge of opportunity because, as I mentioned, you have that opposition between the moon in Scorpio and Uranus, and then the wedge with the trine in Pisces. So wedge of opportunity for you to choose. Again, another choice point. Then we're going to zoom ahead to Wednesday, which is the 16th. We have Mercury, which is direct in shadow, is going to re-enter Aries. And we've talked about this energy before. We want to make sure any of these personal planets, Mercury, and then soon to be Venus. We have learned a lot about 12th house energy. We've learned a lot about compassion. And now as these personal planets re-enter the sign of Aries, we are now integrating that message to our pure essence, understanding our pure essence. So now this is the integration of the lower mind and communication to our pure essence, knowing the real you. Knowing the real you at an essence level. The very next day, and very early in the morning, just 10 minutes into the day, so we've got a little time to acclimate ourselves to Mercury and Aries, then boom, it's going to conjunct, Mercury's going to conjunct Neptune. This is brand new energy. Neptune in the sign of Aries, it hasn't been here in our lifetimes, unless you're a very old soul that has never reincarnated. But Neptune in Aries is new energy. Mercury conjunct Neptune in Aries is, to me, when I sat with this energy, this is absolute peace and depth of knowing of your true essence. It is such a good feeling. The mind and healing are in sync. Righteousness, because we do know that Mercury in Aries can be very righteous at a three-dimensional level. It's not being centered in the self, it's being self-centered. Well, righteousness or spiritual bypass measures will be apparent when healing has not been recognized and integrated. We are integrating energy now. Mercury is direct but still in shadow. Then on Friday of this week, we will have Mars, which is direct in shadow, is going to re-enter Leo. Leo is the sign of pride and courage. And at a 3D level, this could be the need for recognition. Your ego wants to be center stage. Power plays can be kicking up now. At a 5D level, this is heart-centered actions of courage, where the light shines bright, being redirected for the greater good. And I'm going to use an example here that may help with this understanding a bit. Celebrity status, pure, like a true Leo quality, wanting to have center stage. It can be an egocentric placement, or it can be someone who has some level of notoriety, however, uses that notoriety for the greater good of all, to raise money for a purpose, not so that they can gain notoriety, more notoriety for doing so, but for quietly offsetting the burden of the collective, okay? Then on Saturday, we will have Mars, direct in shadow, in Leo. We've reacclimated, boom, it's going to trine Neptune. This is the third and final trine of these two planets, however, of Mars retrograde cycle. What's different now is Neptune is in Aries. Mars is in Leo. Before they were in water signs. Now they're both in fire signs. And what I heard when I put this energy together in my mind was taming the fire. Taming the fire. Actions from a place of pure essence that has been healed. It does not project nor evade. We are going to need this energy. So as this energy comes in next Saturday, sit with and get to know this energy. Feel comfortable in this energy. We will soon see fixed Grand Cross energy and a Mars-Pluto opposition that is all about power plays, power struggles, powerlessness, and the integration of these essence, our true essence, as it is with Neptune's help and healing and understanding. We can really tame some of this energy that's been triggering in the past, okay? The sun also moves into Taurus on Saturday. Happy birthday, Taurus. My near and dear sister is a Taurus. Happy birthday to her. Taurus is very grounding energy. It's very practical and tangible energy. Hard work always pays off. That's a theme, tried and true. Truly hard-working individuals. They do know and have self-respect, and they do know their worth. That would be a true, grounded, pure essence Taurian. On the 20th is when we're going to start to see, which is a week from today, some of these power plays kicking off. And I have to be honest with you, this energy can be challenging. The sun at 1 degree of Taurus is going to square Mars at 1 degree of Leo. Again, we've got a choice point here. This is a square. Nobody's going to want to budge. We got an ego versus stubbornness, because the downside of Taurian energy can be very stubborn, fixed earth. They don't want to move. And there could be egos involved in this square. In just a few days, Pluto and Black Moon Lilith are going to become entangled in some of these power plays. And I'm telling you, it can be real challenging. We want to remember that Mars in Leo energy, as it got softened when it worked with Neptune. Taming the fire. Actions from a place of pure essence that's been healed. It does not project. It does not evade. It just is. On this same day, a week from today, Mercury, which is in post-retrograde shadow at 3 degrees of Aries, is going to sextile Pluto at 3 degrees of Aquarius. This is the third of 3 pairings of these two planets, sextiles, I should say, on the 5th of March and the 25th of March were the first 2 times that they spoke. Mercury in the sign of Aries, and knowing that true essence, the integration of the lower mind, and know the real you. Now it's about honesty, transparency, and the transformations that are rooted in knowing your true essence. Wounding has been shed. Now the transformations that you've done that work can truly begin. On this same day, Venus, which is in direct and in shadow, amen. All planets are direct, by the way, this week. Talk about moving forward, we certainly are. Venus, direct in shadow, is going to sextile Uranus, which is in the sign of Taurus. We experienced this not long ago on the 8th of April. This time, Venus is direct and in shadow, but direct. This is all about the freedom and elevation that comes with knowing your worth. Aligning with a higher purpose, because Venus is conjunct the North Node. You may see some massive benefit that elevates you relatively quickly, taking you from point A to point B. That is a higher level of consciousness, but also your true path, your life's purpose, you being elevated to that life's purpose. Once you know your true self-worth, and these shifts will lift you up. I love that energy. But like I said, not this week. The end of this week is when it's going to start kicking in. But really, truly, the week after, beginning the 20th through the end of the month, we've got some very challenging energy. So as this energy comes in this week, as those personal planets are moving forward, they're integrating their lessons that they learned as they pivoted from that very watery 12th house energy of Pisces, and now it beginning to enter the sign of Aries, and then conjunct Neptune for that that just flowy, dreamy, taming the fire energy, spiritual warrior energy that we get to resonate with, lifting us into who we truly are without wounding. Let's stand firm in that as we face some of the challenges of the fixed Grand Cross that will soon be emerging. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I decided to use the Starseed Oracle deck. Here's the deck. I'll put it right there. And the card that jumped out, I've left it up here because it really is a cool card, and I hope you can see it. I'm trying to get some light on it, but I hope you can see it. Let's see what the book has to say. Whale and Orca Elders. Maybe if I move it closer, you can see it. Whale and Orca Elders. Share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. The whale and orca elders are benevolent cosmic beings here to anchor a frequency of love onto the planet, to harmonize it with their song. As they weave around the oceans, they do so much more than any of us know. Their physical presence affects Earth's magnetic field, and their harmonics call us to wake up and remember our own soul's song. Looking into the eye of a whale is something you'll never forget. Whales see into your very being, and in an instant, you are changed forever. They see beyond physical, the woundings, the identity, the personality, the story. They see right into your soul. If you pull this card, you're being called to surrender to your deepest truth and share it with potency. To bow to who you truly are. To stretch your heart wide enough to hold it all. To leave your fears, doubts, and baggage at the door. To question any part of you that doesn't feel good enough. The whale and orca elders want you to give others the privilege of seeing who you truly are, and for you to see the same in other beings. To drop your hang-ups and personality flaws and get busy revealing the unique note your soul came here to sing. Allow the song that echoes in the four chambers of your heart to emanate in all four directions. Peel back the layers of suffering and pain and reveal to others your soul's true song. And endeavor to see the soul of all those you meet. The Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to share your soul's unique song? Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please do click the like button. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, please click the subscribe button. If you have any comments or suggestions, post them in the comment box below. I always like to hear from you. And if you want to co-create with me, please do share this video. It certainly has been a wonderful message to be able to share with you today. I hope it enriches your week and that we can carry it forward as we move through some of the more challenging energy in the coming few weeks. Have a fabulous week ahead. Namaste.